Tom and Lily had been together for 5 years, with 4 of those years spent as a married couple. They had known each other since their teenage years and had one child together, a 4-year-old daughter named Sophie. Tom was the primary breadwinner of the family, while Lily had chosen not to return to work for the past year and a half. Despite the challenges of balancing work and home life, Tom made it a point to be involved with both Lily and Sophie. He would cook, clean, and participate in every aspect of their daily lives. Their relationship, however, was marred by frequent arguments. These disagreements occurred about once or twice a month, often sparked by seemingly minor issues. Despite Tom's efforts to suggest therapy or counseling, Lily consistently refused, insisting that they did not need it. The first major rift occurred when Tom's sister, Emma, asked if she could stay with them for a short while due to relationship problems. Tom agreed, thinking it would be a temporary arrangement. However, Lily was not pleased. Tom reminded her that just a few months prior, her friend had stayed with them for 5 weeks without contributing to the household, a decision made without any discussion. In contrast, Emma had a great relationship with Sophie and helped around the house during her stay. Tom believed they had moved past this disagreement, but it was clear that the tension lingered. As the months passed, the arguments became more frequent and intense. Tom often felt that 90% of these conflicts were initiated by Lily. He continued to suggest professional help, but Lily dismissed the idea each time. The frustration built up until one night, during yet another argument, Lily accused Tom of spending too much time at work and neglecting his role as a father. She ended her tirade with a threat she had used before. "I want a divorce." Tom had reached his breaking point. He explained that his long hours were a result of Lily's spending habits, which required him to work overtime to support their lifestyle. Despite their agreement to allocate their money into bills, savings, future needs, and fun money, Lily refused to get a job or pursue further education to help alleviate the financial burden. In that heated moment, Tom decided he could no longer tolerate the cycle of conflict. He told Lily that he would have his lawyer send her the divorce papers and left with Sophie to stay at Emma's place. It had been 2 days since the argument, and Lily had been calling and texting incessantly, apologizing and expressing a desire to go to counseling and therapy. She claimed she needed Tom and missed him, but Tom was unsure of what to do. Despite his love for her and acknowledgement of her role as a good mother, he felt emotionally exhausted and unable to continue in their current situation. Tom turned to the internet for advice, pouring his heart out to strangers. He explained his dilemma and the history of their relationship, seeking guidance on whether he should give Lily another chance or proceed with the divorce. His story struck a chord with many, and he received a flood of responses offering various perspectives and advice. In the days that followed, Tom reflected on his life with Lily, from their early days as a couple to the current state of their marriage. He thought about the countless arguments, the moments of joy, and the deep sense of frustration that had built up over the years. He weighed his love for Lily against the toll their relationship had taken on his mental and emotional well-being. Despite the turmoil, Tom's primary concern was Sophie. He wanted to ensure that whatever decision he made would be in her best interest. As he grappled with his thoughts, the future remained uncertain. But one thing was clear: change was inevitable. 2 days had passed since Tom left with Sophie, and the initial shock of his departure had started to wear off. He spent the time reflecting on his decision and the events that had led up to it. Staying at his sister Emma's place provided some solace, but his mind was constantly racing. The incessant calls and messages from Lily added to his stress, each one filled with apologies and promises to change. Tom knew that the root of their problems went beyond the recent argument. The first major rift had occurred when Emma had come to stay with them, and Lily's reaction had been far from supportive. This incident set the stage for a series of conflicts that revealed deeper issues in their relationship. Lily's anger during Emma's stay was not just about sharing space. It was a manifestation of her growing resentment towards Tom. She felt neglected and unappreciated, and Emma's presence only amplified those feelings. Despite Emma helping around the house and building a strong bond with Sophie, Lily could not shake off the feeling of being sidelined in her own home. The next few months saw a steady increase in their arguments. Tom tried to be more attentive and supportive, but every effort seemed to fall short. Lily accused him of being distant and preoccupied with work. Tom, on the other hand, felt that he was doing everything he could to provide for his family and maintain a stable home environment. The pressure of being the sole breadwinner was immense, and he often found himself working late into the night to make ends meet. The turning point came one evening when Tom was working on a project for an important client. He had been at the office late, trying to meet a tight deadline. When he finally got home, he found Lily waiting for him, visibly upset. She launched into a tirade about how he was never around and how she felt like a single parent. Her words cut deep, and Tom felt a surge of anger and frustration. He tried to explain the importance of his work and the financial pressures they were under, but Lily was having none of it. "I feel abandoned, Tom," she said, tears streaming down her face. "You're never here, and when you are, you're too tired to even talk to me. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce." Tom stood there, stunned. This wasn't the first time Lily had mentioned divorce during an argument, but this time it felt different. There was a finality in her voice that he hadn't heard before. He realized that their problems were more serious than he had acknowledged. The next day, Tom decided to take a step back and evaluate their relationship. He took a day off work and spent it reflecting on their life together. He thought about their early days, how they had met and fallen in love. He remembered their wedding day, the birth of Sophie, and the countless moments of happiness they had shared. But he also couldn't ignore the growing list of grievances and unresolved issues that had brought them to this point. In an attempt to salvage their marriage, Tom suggested they try marriage counseling. He hoped that a neutral third party could help them navigate their issues and find a way to reconnect. To his dismay, Lily dismissed the idea outright. She insisted that their problems were not severe enough to warrant counseling and that they could work things out on their own. Tom felt a mix of frustration and helplessness. He wanted to believe that they could fix their relationship, but Lily's refusal to seek help left him with few options. The arguments continued, each one chipping away at the foundation of their marriage. The final straw came when Tom discovered that Lily had been secretly taking money from their joint account. She had been using it to fund her projects and personal expenses without discussing it with him. Tom felt betrayed and hurt. He had always been transparent about their finances, and this breach of trust was too much to bear. When he confronted Lily about it, she became defensive and lashed out at him. The argument quickly escalated, and once again, she threatened divorce. This time, Tom didn't try to reason with her. He simply packed a bag, took Sophie, and left. The reality of their situation hit Tom hard as he settled into Emma's guest room. He knew that something had to change, but he was unsure of what the future held. He loved Lily and didn't want to end their marriage, but he couldn't continue living in such a toxic environment. Tom spent the next few days focusing on Sophie, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy for her. He took her to the park, read her favorite stories, and made sure she felt safe and loved. In the quiet moments, his mind wandered back to Lily and the life they had built together. He wondered if there was still a chance to save their marriage, or if it was time to accept that they had reached the end of the road. As he pondered his next steps, Tom realized that he needed to have an honest conversation with Lily. They needed to confront their issues head-on and decide if there was a way forward. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but for the sake of Sophie and their future, it was a conversation they needed to have. Tom's resolve to have an honest conversation with Lily grew stronger over the next few days. He knew that avoiding the confrontation would only prolong the pain and uncertainty. He reached out to Lily and asked if they could meet to discuss their situation. She agreed, and they arranged to meet at a quiet cafe near their home. As Tom walked into the cafe, he felt a mix of anxiety and determination. He spotted Lily sitting at a corner table, looking tired and apprehensive. He took a deep breath and approached her, ready to lay everything on the table. "Hi, Lily," Tom said, taking a seat across from her. "Hi, Tom," she replied softly. "Thank you for meeting with me." "I think we both know this conversation is long overdue," Tom began. "We can't keep going on like this. It's not fair to either of us, and it's not fair to Sophie." Lily nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "I know. I've been doing a lot of thinking these past few days. I realize now how much I've hurt you and how my actions have affected our family." Tom felt a pang of sadness but remained focused. "I love you, Lily, but we need to address the issues that have been tearing us apart. We can't keep pretending everything is okay." Lily took a deep breath and began to speak, her voice trembling. "Tom, I know I've been difficult, and I've said things I didn't mean. I felt so alone and frustrated. I didn't know how to express my feelings, and I ended up lashing out at you." Tom listened intently, allowing her to express her emotions. "I understand, but we need to find a way to communicate better. The constant arguments and threats of divorce are not healthy for either of us." "I agree," Lily said, wiping her tears. "I think we should give counseling a try. I was wrong to dismiss it before. We need help to work through our issues." Tom felt a glimmer of hope. "I'm willing to try counseling if you are, but we both need to be fully committed to making this work. It's not going to be easy, but I believe we can find a way to rebuild our relationship." Lily nodded, her expression earnest. "I want to make this work, Tom, for us and Sophie. I'm willing to do whatever it takes." With a renewed sense of purpose, Tom and Lily agreed to start marriage counseling. They found a reputable therapist and scheduled their first session. The process was challenging, requiring them to confront their deepest fears and insecurities, but they were determined to give it their best shot. During their sessions, Tom and Lily learned valuable communication techniques and began to understand each other's perspectives better. They uncovered underlying issues that had been festering for years, from financial stress to unmet emotional needs. The therapist guided them through exercises designed to rebuild trust and intimacy. One of the most impactful sessions focused on their financial disagreements. The therapist helped them create a transparent budget and set clear expectations for spending and saving. They also discussed the importance of shared responsibilities, both financially and within the household. Lily admitted that she had felt overwhelmed by the pressures of being a stay-at-home mom and had resented Tom for not recognizing her efforts. Tom, in turn, expressed his frustration at feeling like he had to carry the entire financial burden. They both realized that they had been operating under unspoken assumptions and needed to be more open and supportive of each other. As the weeks passed, Tom and Lily began to see improvements in their relationship. The arguments became less frequent, and they started to reconnect on a deeper level. They made a conscious effort to spend quality time together, whether it was through a simple dinner date or a family outing with Sophie. Despite the progress, there were still moments of tension and setbacks. Old habits die hard, and it was a continuous effort to implement the changes they were learning in therapy. But the commitment to their marriage kept them moving forward. One evening, after a particularly productive counseling session, Tom and Lily decided to take Sophie to the beach. It was a spontaneous decision, and as they watched their daughter play in the sand, they felt a renewed sense of hope and connection. "Lily, I want us to keep working on this," Tom said, taking her hand. "I believe we can build a stronger, happier future together." Lily squeezed his hand and smiled. "I believe that too, Tom. I'm grateful for this second chance, and I won't take it for granted." Their journey was far from over, but they were committed to making it work. The road ahead would require patience, effort, and unwavering dedication. But for the first time in a long while, they felt optimistic about their future. Tom and Lily's journey through marriage counseling brought them closer, but it wasn't without its challenges. They faced their biggest test one night when an old issue resurfaced, threatening to undo all the progress they had made. It started with a phone call. Tom was working late at the office again, trying to meet a critical deadline for a major project. Lily was at home with Sophie, who had been particularly fussy that evening. As Tom was wrapping up his work, he received a call from Lily, her voice strained and tense. "Tom, I need you to come home, now," Lily said, her voice barely holding back tears. "What's wrong?" Tom asked, his heart racing. "It's Sophie. She has a high fever, and I can't get it to come down. I've tried everything," Lily replied, panic evident in her voice. Tom didn't hesitate. He packed up his things and rushed home. When he arrived, he found Lily pacing the living room with Sophie in her arms. Their daughter's face was flushed and she was uncomfortable. Tom immediately took charge, calling their pediatrician and following her advice to give Sophie a cool bath and some medication. As they worked together to comfort their daughter, the tension between Tom and Lily began to rise. The stress of the situation brought old resentments to the surface. After a few hours, Sophie's fever finally started to come down, and she fell asleep. Tom and Lily, both exhausted, sat down on the couch. The silence between them was heavy. "Why weren't you here earlier?" Lily asked, her voice tinged with accusation. Tom sighed, feeling the weight of her words. "I was working, Lily. You know I have a big project due." "And that's more important than your family?" Lily shot back, her eyes flashing with anger. "That's not fair," Tom replied, trying to keep his composure. "You know I'm doing this for us, for Sophie." "But you're never here, Tom. I feel like I'm doing this all by myself," Lily said, her voice breaking. The argument quickly escalated, each of them bringing up past grievances and unhealed wounds. Tom felt his frustration bubbling over. Despite their progress in therapy, it seemed they were back to square one. "You think I want to be away from you and Sophie? You think I don't feel guilty every time I have to stay late at work?" Tom said, his voice rising. "I'm doing everything I can to support this family, and all you do is criticize me." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I just want you to be here, Tom. We need you. I need you." The intensity of the moment forced them both to pause. They were standing on the edge of a precipice, and one wrong move could push them over. Tom took a deep breath, trying to calm himself. "I love you, Lily, and I love Sophie, but we can't keep doing this," Tom said softly. "We need to find a balance. I can't be everywhere at once, and I need you to understand that." Lily nodded, wiping her tears. "I know, Tom. I know I've been unfair. I just feel so alone sometimes." Tom reached out and took her hand. "You're not alone. We're in this together, but we need to keep working on it. We can't let one bad night undo all the progress we've made." Lily squeezed his hand, her expression softening. "You're right. I'm sorry, Tom. I don't want to fight anymore." They sat in silence for a few moments, holding hands and letting the tension dissipate. Tom knew that this was a pivotal moment in their relationship. They had a choice: to let this argument drive them further apart, or to use it as a catalyst for change. The next day, they discussed their schedule and came up with a plan to ensure that Tom could be more present at home without compromising his work responsibilities. They agreed to set aside regular family time and to communicate more openly about their needs and expectations. As they continued their counseling sessions, Tom and Lily worked on rebuilding their trust and understanding. They practiced the communication techniques they had learned and made a conscious effort to support each other. One evening, after a particularly good day, they decided to have a family game night. They played board games with Sophie, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company. It was a small but significant step towards healing their relationship. Despite the progress, the memory of that night when Sophie was sick lingered in Tom's mind. It served as a reminder of the fragility of their relationship and the importance of their commitment to each other. As they approached their one-year mark in counseling, Tom and Lily decided to renew their vows in a small, private ceremony. They wanted to reaffirm their love and commitment in front of their closest family and friends. On the day of the ceremony, as they stood before their loved ones, Tom looked into Lily's eyes and saw the woman he had fallen in love with all those years ago. He realized that despite the challenges, they had come out stronger on the other side. "Lily, I promise to love and cherish you, to support you and to always be there for you," Tom said, his voice filled with emotion. "We've been through so much, and I know we can face anything together." Lily smiled, tears of happiness in her eyes. "Tom, I promise to stand by your side, to communicate openly, and to never take our love for granted. I'm grateful for this second chance, and I won't waste it." As they exchanged rings and embraced, Tom felt a sense of peace and hope. They had faced their biggest challenge and come out stronger. The road ahead would still have its ups and downs, but they were ready to face it together. After renewing their vows, Tom and Lily felt a renewed sense of purpose and commitment in their marriage. They were determined to build a stronger foundation for their relationship and to create a stable, loving environment for Sophie. The months that followed were filled with both challenges and triumphs as they navigated the complexities of their renewed commitment. Tom and Lily continued their counseling sessions, delving deeper into their personal issues and past experiences that had shaped their behaviors and attitudes. They learned to understand each other's triggers and vulnerabilities, which helped them to be more empathetic and supportive partners. One of the first major challenges they faced was redefining their roles within the household. Tom, who had always been the primary breadwinner, realized that he needed to be more present at home. He discussed his workload with his boss and managed to negotiate more flexible hours. This allowed him to spend more time with Lily and Sophie and to be more involved in their daily lives. Lily, on the other hand, decided to pursue further education. She enrolled in online courses to complete her degree, which she had put on hold when Sophie was born. Tom supported her decision wholeheartedly, and they worked together to create a schedule that allowed Lily to study while also taking care of Sophie. With Tom's more flexible schedule and Lily's academic pursuits, they had to develop new routines and responsibilities. They created a shared calendar to keep track of their commitments and made sure to allocate time for family activities. This helped to ensure that they could balance their individual goals with their responsibilities as parents and partners. As part of their efforts to rebuild their relationship, Tom and Lily made a conscious effort to spend quality time together. They planned regular date nights, where they would go out for dinner, watch a movie, or simply take a walk in the park. These moments of connection helped to strengthen their bond and reminded them of the love they had for each other. One weekend, they decided to take a family trip to the mountains. It was the first vacation they had taken in years, and they were excited to spend time together away from the stresses of daily life. They rented a cozy cabin and spent their days hiking, exploring nature, and playing games with Sophie. The trip brought them closer as a family and provided a much-needed break from their routine. During one of their hikes, Tom and Lily had a heartfelt conversation about their future. They discussed their dreams and aspirations, both individually and as a family. Tom shared his desire to start his own business one day, while Lily talked about her passion for teaching and her hopes of becoming a college professor. They encouraged each other to pursue their goals and promised to support one another every step of the way. Back at home, they continued to implement the lessons they had learned in counseling. They practiced active listening, where they would give each other their full attention and refrain from interrupting or judging. This helped to create a safe space for open and honest communication. They also worked on managing their disagreements more healthily. Instead of letting arguments escalate, they used the tools they had learned in therapy to address their issues calmly and respectfully. They established a rule that if a conversation became too heated, they would take a break and return to it later when they were both calmer. As time went on, they noticed a significant improvement in their relationship. The arguments that had once seemed insurmountable now felt more manageable. They were able to resolve conflicts more effectively and move forward without holding on to resentment. One evening, as they were putting Sophie to bed, Lily looked at Tom and said, "I'm so grateful for everything we've been through. It's been hard, but I feel like we're stronger now than we've ever been." Tom smiled and hugged her. "I feel the same way. We've come a long way and I'm proud of us. I know we can face anything together." Their renewed commitment to each other also had a positive impact on Sophie. She thrived in the stable and loving environment they had created. She was happier and more confident, knowing that her parents were working together as a team. As part of their efforts to create lasting memories as a family, Tom and Lily decided to start a new tradition. Every Sunday, they would have a family day where they would do something fun together. Whether it was going to the zoo, having a picnic in the park, or simply playing games at home, these days became a cherished part of their routine. One Sunday, they decided to visit a nearby amusement park. Sophie was ecstatic, and her excitement was contagious. They spent the day riding roller coasters, playing carnival games, and enjoying each other's company. As the sun began to set, they found a spot to watch the fireworks display. Sitting together, with Sophie nestled between them, Tom and Lily felt a deep sense of contentment. "I love days like this," Lily said, her eyes reflecting the colors of the fireworks. "Me too," Tom replied, squeezing her hand. "It's moments like these that make everything worth it." Despite the positive changes, there were still moments of doubt and insecurity. Tom occasionally worried about balancing his career ambitions with his commitment to his family. Lily sometimes felt overwhelmed by her responsibilities and questioned if she was doing enough. During one particularly stressful week, Tom found himself buried in work, trying to meet a crucial deadline. He felt guilty for not being able to spend more time with Lily and Sophie. Recognizing the signs of his stress, Lily decided to surprise him with a special dinner at home. She prepared his favorite meal and set up a cozy dining area in their backyard. When Tom arrived home, exhausted and frustrated, he was greeted by the sight of a beautifully set table and the aroma of his favorite dishes. Lily and Sophie welcomed him with smiles, and for a moment, all his worries melted away. "What's all this?" Tom asked, his heart swelling with gratitude. "I thought you could use a break," Lily said, kissing him on the cheek. "We wanted to show you how much we appreciate everything you do for us." As they sat down to eat, Tom felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that no matter how challenging things might get, they had each other's support and love to carry them through. In the months that followed, Tom and Lily continued to grow as individuals and as a couple. They faced new challenges, but they approached them with a sense of unity and determination. They celebrated their successes and learned from their setbacks, always keeping their love and commitment at the forefront. Their journey was far from perfect, but it was real and meaningful. They had learned that a strong marriage wasn't about the absence of conflict, but about how they chose to handle it. Through their ups and downs, they discovered the true meaning of partnership and resilience. As Tom and Lily approached the end of their first year since renewing their vows, they found themselves reflecting on the journey they had undertaken. The trials they had faced together had strengthened their bond, teaching them valuable lessons about love, commitment, and resilience. Tom's flexible work schedule had become a permanent arrangement, allowing him to be more present in their daily lives. Lily was thriving in her studies, her confidence growing with each course she completed. Sophie, now 5 years old, was blossoming in the nurturing environment they had created. Their family had come a long way from the turmoil that had once threatened to tear them apart. One evening, after putting Sophie to bed, Tom and Lily sat on the porch, enjoying the quiet night. The stars twinkled above, and the air was filled with the gentle hum of crickets. It was moments like these that reminded them of how far they had come. "I'm proud of us, Tom," Lily said, her voice filled with warmth. "We've worked so hard to rebuild our relationship, and I feel like we're stronger than ever." Tom nodded, his heart swelling with affection. "I feel the same way. It hasn't been easy, but every step has been worth it. I love you more every day, Lily." She leaned against him, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "I love you too, Tom, and I believe in us. I know we can handle anything that comes our way." Their renewed commitment not only brought them closer, but also inspired them to give back to their community. They decided to volunteer at a local family counseling center, sharing their experiences and offering support to couples going through similar struggles. Their story of perseverance and growth resonated with many, and they found fulfillment in helping others navigate their challenges. One day, while volunteering at the center, they met a couple, Mark and Sarah, who were on the brink of divorce. Mark and Sarah's story mirrored Tom and Lily's in many ways: financial stress, communication breakdowns, and the feeling of being overwhelmed by life's demands. Tom and Lily saw a bit of their past selves in this couple and felt a deep desire to help them. During their sessions, Tom and Lily shared their journey, emphasizing the importance of open communication, empathy, and seeking professional help. They encouraged Mark and Sarah to attend counseling and to commit to rebuilding their relationship with patience and understanding. Over time, Mark and Sarah began to see improvements in their relationship. They learned to listen to each other, to express their needs without judgment, and to work together as a team. Seeing the positive impact their story had on others reaffirmed Tom and Lily's belief in the power of love and commitment. As the years passed, Tom and Lily continued to grow both individually and as a couple. Tom eventually realized his dream of starting his own business, a small consulting firm that allowed him to balance his professional ambitions with his family life. Lily completed her degree and became a college professor, passionate about inspiring and educating young minds. Their journey was marked by continued learning and adaptation. They remained committed to their Sunday family days, cherishing the time spent together. Whether it was a day at the beach, a picnic in the park, or a simple game night at home, these moments were the glue that held their family together. One particularly memorable Sunday, they decided to revisit the mountains where they had taken their first family vacation after renewing their vows. This time, they invited their extended family and friends to join them. It was a celebration of love, resilience, and the enduring bonds that had been forged through shared experiences. As they hiked through the familiar trails, Tom and Lily reflected on their journey. They remembered the challenges they had faced and the victories they had celebrated. They had learned that a successful marriage required constant effort, understanding, and the willingness to grow together. At the peak of the mountain, they gathered everyone for a small ceremony. Tom and Lily renewed their vows once more, this time with Sophie by their side. The ceremony was simple but profoundly meaningful, a testament to their unwavering love and commitment. Today, we stand here as a family, stronger and more united than ever, Tom said, his voice filled with emotion. We've faced our fears, overcome our challenges, and learned to love each other more deeply. I'm grateful for every moment, and I look forward to many more years of happiness with you, Lily, and with you, Sophie. Lily smiled, tears of joy streaming down her face. Tom, you are my rock, my partner, and my best friend. Together, we've built a life filled with love and laughter. I promise to continue to grow with you, to support you, and to cherish every moment we share. I love you more than words can express. Sophie, holding both their hands, looked up at her parents with a big smile. I love you, Mommy and Daddy. The gathering erupted in applause, celebrating the love and resilience of Tom, Lily, and their family. As they descended the mountain, hand in hand, Tom and Lily felt an overwhelming sense of peace and fulfillment. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next, together. The years that followed were filled with new adventures and challenges, but Tom and Lily faced each one with the same dedication and love that had brought them back from the brink. They continued volunteering at the counseling center, helping countless couples find their way back to each other. Their story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that love, when nurtured and fought for, could overcome even the greatest obstacles. As they grew older, Tom and Lily reflected on their life with deep gratitude. They had built a beautiful family, forged unbreakable bonds, and created a legacy of love and resilience. Their journey had been anything but easy, but it had been incredibly rewarding. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, Tom took Lily's hand and said, "We've had quite a journey, haven't we?" Lily smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "We have, and I wouldn't change a single moment of it. Every challenge and victory has brought us closer and made us stronger." Tom nodded, feeling a profound sense of contentment. "I'm grateful for every moment we've shared, Lily, and I look forward to many more." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over their home, Tom and Lily knew that their story was far from over. They had built a life filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. And together, they were ready to embrace whatever the future held.